Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I have the finale for the Deck of Panning project that was started by Emily of Emily and Max here on YouTube, and she was inspired by Books with Maddie, who did a book kind of, I don't know what it was called, but same idea but with books. So if you want to know how the year went for me, how I wrapped things up, and what kind of numbers I have to share, then please keep watching. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alyssa and I do lots of makeup panning content. Sometimes I bring in new makeup, but I try just to use what I have. So I have been doing the Deck of Panning project for 2 years now, but this is the first year that I've been on YouTube to do it. So it was interesting having to come on here and talk about my uses and making sure I get posts up, because I didn't do any posts. Like, it wasn't just that I didn't do it on YouTube. I just, did it for my own fun. And when I made this channel, I decided, hey, this is something that I could be doing on here. I went through all of the different months and came up with, how many prompts did I manage to get through, what were they mostly using, that kind of thing. But first, let's talk about my final prompts for the year that I rolled in last month. I have a whole playlist, so if you want to watch my videos, there's also a big playlist for all the people who are doing Deck of Panning here on YouTube, so you can watch that as well. So the first item I rolled in was influencer, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my pictures up on the screen as I'm holding them now. I had a loose pigment called, is it Crab or The Crab? I think it might be The Crab. It was a Kathleen Lights collaboration with ColourPop. When I rolled it in, I had 15 and 1600ths grams after using it the 5 times that I set as a goal, which is a decent number to use in a month, so keep that in mind. I got it down to 15 and 1100ths grams, so I used 500ths of a gram, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but so it's basically 1/100th per use. Loose pigments, though, they are very lightweight, so it's kind of, you don't need a lot. I guess like eyeshadow too, if you think of it that way. Next, for long haul, this was tricky because it's hard to do a long haul item when I only have 1 month to get it done in. What I decided to do was roll in an eyeshadow that I've been wanting to finish at some point this year if I could. I didn't know if I would be able to, but it was sort of a long-term goal. I figured that would be a nice, even if I didn't get it all the way there, then, making some more progress and finishing it in the new year if I had to. But I am happy to say that I rolled in this eyeshadow. It was 2 and 7300ths grams. Now it is 2 and 1500ths grams, which means that I used 5800ths of a gram, and it's all done. I actually used it for the final time last night on my nails. I will have a little close-up of that. I had a green nail polish base and I put it on top. It just wasn't working quite as well maybe anymore. It wasn't, I don't know, maybe it just never was that awesome. It's hard to tell sometimes with old eyeshadows because makeup has gotten better, but also old makeup doesn't work as well as it used to, at its prime. So not really sure, but either way, I figured it would be, something good to put on my nails, and it was. I used it once before on my nails, but not this past month. And that's also why I'm like, maybe it's not working as well, because I feel like it looked maybe a little better that time. It was a little bit more shifty or sparkly, and it was a little bit more matte when I used it. I also have a short that's either up now or coming where I was showing using it. So I'm not sure when that's going up. Next on the list was, for affordable, I brought in an e.l.f. blush in the shade Rosy. I wanted to use it 15 times. So when I rolled it in, it was 44 and 700ths grams. And when I rolled it out, it was 43 and 7400ths grams. So Again, I feel like that was pretty good usage. So 33 hundredths of a gram to use in a month. Not bad. Now, when you look at the picture, there's not much disturbance. It still looks pretty smooth and all that. But at least I was able to see that I did use, some of it. So there we go. Next was for powder. I brought in my highlighter in Blossom Glow from Wet n Wild. I wanted to use it 15 times. It started at 37 and 88 hundredths grams, and I rolled it out with 37 and 68 hundredths grams. So I used 2/10 of a gram. When I looked at the highlighter, it doesn't look that different, but I'm pretty sure if I look back at the before, then I will see it, because that happened, I think last month I used a different Wet n Wild highlighter, and I remember thinking, oh yeah, it hasn't really changed much at all. And then when I looked at the pictures, I was like, oh no, I did actually make some good progress on that. So this one, I don't know, I guess we'll see the comparison, but knowing that the weight went down that much, I feel pretty proud of that. Next, I have Astrology. And for this, I rolled in, I figured Astrology was like space, and I have the shade Halley's Comet from Terra Moons. I wanted to use it 8 times. I don't know why I picked 8. Oh wait, yes I do. Because I was thinking 4 weeks in a month and use it 2 times a week, on average to get that goal. When I rolled it in, it was 2 and 51 hundredths grams. After the 8 uses, it was now 2 and 43 hundredths grams. So I used 8 hundredths of a gram. So it's kind of interesting to think about it, because then that's 1/100th of a gram per use, which was the same as when I did the loose pigment. I wonder if in general that is, well, also I will say the Halley's Comet shade is pretty flaky. So maybe it's kind of flaky, like how a pigment is kind of like, loose and powdery and that kind of thing. Something to think about, because I don't know if I have that same usage when I do other eyeshadows. Speaking of eyeshadow, I looked back for the year to see how many of my prompts actually used eyeshadow in some kind of way. I counted the chrome flakes and my liquid shadow, things like that, and it was 28 different prompts. Now that's not 28 eyeshadows, it's actually more, because some of the prompts were no pan left behind on a palette, so that would be a lot more shades, or using all these shades so many times, things like that. So just that's the number of prompts that involved eyeshadow. I was curious how many used lip products, because I thought it was a fair number. Only 3. So that tells me that I need to do more lip prompts for next year, because I will be doing this project again next year, assuming that Emily brings it back. So yeah, I need to focus more on doing lips, like maybe have 1 lip product a month or something like that. For face products, there were 15 different prompts that used either blush or highlighter, bronzer. I guess not really anything else, because that's all I have. Yeah, I don't need to do it for like face powder in general. So yeah, so 15 for that. And overall, I had 57 total prompts, because sometimes there were extras for, you have to draw another card, things like that. And I always did at least 5, and if there were still some prompts from before, then they just kind of rolled over. So that is how I ended up for the year. I feel like it was a pretty successful year. It was also still fun posting it on here, seeing how everyone else is doing and hearing from other people. Like I said, I will try to focus next year on doing more lips. I feel like the fact that about half of the prompts involved eyeshadow makes sense, because most of my collection is eyeshadow. So that's a good use of my time. But I am doing some other eyeshadow projects this year, so maybe I will do a little bit less eyeshadow for this and do a little bit more of the other stuff. I would like to maybe buy a blush at some point this year, but I want to use up more blushes before I do that. So, this could be a way of helping me do that. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this. Thank you for doing so. Until my next video, maybe you'll subscribe. I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye. I said 73 hundredths for the other. Okay. Oh, quick math. 30. So I used 30. No. 58 hundredths grams, right? I'm not. Yes. Okay. But anyway, speaking of eyeshadows, I went through for the year and found out that I can't talk or do math right now. I think I need food. Okay. All right. I'm good.